So I have seen the movie, and I know how I would describe your character, but I would be keen to hear how you would describe the person you play.
Well, I play a trauma surgeon, Christine Palmer, who I think she's a very compassionate doctor. I think that she has a really good bedside manner, and I think she's a workaholic as well, and I think she has a quiet strength to her that she doesn't sort of beat her chest with all the time, but and then in terms of her relationship to Doctor Strange, I mean, they used to be boyfriend, girlfriend. They've now come out the other side as friends and still colleagues. And I think that she, has a great deal of respect for Doctor Strange and what he's capable of. And I think she thinks he's maybe selling himself a little short right now. Yeah.
And I know that you guys actually worked when you were filming these hospital scenes. A lot of the extras were, in fact, people with kind of some sort of medical background.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, pick up any, just, for your own personal use, any, hey, did you know that polysporin also cures this, or something like that?
I certainly learned to do suturing and, various medical things. What I learned was people really don't ask enough questions about their health. I read this book called Do No Harm that this famous neurosurgeon wrote, and he said he's shocked how few people ask him, how many times have you performed this surgery? And so I guess I learned that, ask way more questions than you think you should ask.
But with the suturing, if I had just split my hand open, would you feel confident in your stitching skills?
Confident is not maybe the word, but if there was no one else on the planet here that could help you, I would dive in.
Good to know.
And it would probably require some plastic surgery later down the road, but we'd get you stitched up.
When I watched the film, my takeaway, there was a lot going on, but I found it just a really funny movie. I laughed a lot more than I thought perhaps I might.
Right.
Was that your impression when you guys were making it? That it was a genuinely I don't know, witty. It's not hilarious, it's witty.
Right. Well, Benedict's very witty and funny, so he was certainly bringing that to the table. And my character had some leeway for some comic relief, which was nice as well. But yeah, it's a darker, more intense film in terms of the world that we're existing in and being in a hospital all the time on our part. And so, you just never know how that's going to play. But I think, there's so many talented actors in here that are known for their comedic chops just as much as they are for being serious actors. And probably in a surprising way, I think you think of a lot of the actors in this as very serious people. So I think it's nice to see them letting their hair down a bit.
At the same time, it's a funny movie, but it's also kind of a movie that, delves into, the meaning of life, essentially, kind of these really crazy big ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys have, super, deep and meaningful, conversations?
We just sat around being deep and meaningful all the time? Yeah. No, it was on the page, which was great, and we didn't kind of have to hit it over the head too hard. I think it was profound in a really subtle, simplistic way that also wasn't spoon-feeding the audience either. And yeah, so we just kind of gave over to that, and I think Scott had a really good grasp of it. So, yeah.
Is there something I don't know, maybe there was a really tricky scene for you, or a scene where you couldn't keep it together because, I don't know, Benedict's face was just making you laugh? Is there any memory from the filming like that?
I mean, we certainly had a lot of. Benedict had to do a lot of strange things. So your brain's trying to wrap itself around what's happening in front of you. He was so great. He was on wires flying around the room, and there was this replica of him, this dummy that was so lifelike that I wound up doing some of my scenes with when he was up on the wires, and it was just what is happening here, and who are. I'd forget that because he was on the table for a long time as well, and you'd kind of get them mixed up, and but yeah, we had a great time. Yeah.